Okay, my name's Holly and I've done already one video on having chronic fatigue. I don't know, I guess I'm new to this, but it makes you feel, I guess like you might be helping someone, which is like kind of my goal. So, yeah, I've had chronic fatigue, as I've mentioned, for 8 years. I've been bedridden for 4, which has been a really fucking hard time. But I guess maybe I'm talking about, okay, before that. So I just wanted to talk about the isolation and loneliness of chronic fatigue, which I wanted to talk about because I felt very alone when this started, and I still feel alone, but it takes you a while to realise that a lot of people have had this, and a lot of people have been through exactly the same things as you. So I guess I wanted to talk about when it starts, how strange it is, and the increasing disability. So I first started to feel very alone, first when I got it, because you didn't really know how to talk to people about it, then when it started to get worse. So when it did start to get worse, I had to spend a lot of time lying down on my own at home. My parents were out, I was living on my own. I had to spend a lot of time catching taxis instead of anything else because I couldn't do it anymore. So I spent a lot of time lying in the back of taxis, like about to pass out on my own. I was so tired that I often had to lie down in the park or wherever I was on a seat at a friend's house, which made me feel pretty isolated, pretty weird, pretty much like a freak. So all of those are pretty lonely experiences. Then as I got worse, I started to hide away more. So I spent most of my days alone, resting. Yeah, I started to not be in contact with friends because pretty much I was just embarrassed with what I was going through. I didn't know how to explain it properly. Even when you did explain it properly, like, oh, I've got this fatigue thing and it does worse it gets worse when I do more. People could never really get it. They'd just be like, oh, why can't you come out? Oh, that sucks. Like, it was way worse than that. So gradually I think most people kind of try to self-protect by not talking about it too much, or if they had not already have not going on about it again. So that's another point of isolation. And yeah, the worse it gets, the less you stay in contact, or for me, and the more you spend time in your bed, time in your room, time doing things on your own if you can do things. And then what else? I guess, yeah, and as that goes on, for me the isolation got worse because I got bedridden. So I pretty much spent 2 years not seeing anyone. I think I saw one person in 2 years. I saw friends, and then a friend started to visit, which I didn't like. I didn't want them to visit, but they just kept visiting. So then that was nice. Yeah, I guess that's really just talking about that I've been through that isolation, and I'm lucky enough now to be more in contact with people, although I do avoid it because I don't want to keep repeating how sick I am, or like, no, I can't manage that yet. You feel kind of embarrassed, like you should be able to do that by now. If you're not recovering quick enough, like, why aren't you recovering quick enough? Also, a lot of people give you the smart response of like, oh, you just need to try harder, like you really have to push through, like you can't let this get to you. And I understand that that would be my initial concept if I knew someone with chronic fatigue, but I did try that for years, and I think a lot of people try that for years. And yeah, so pretty much the aspect of having people not understand makes you even more isolated. So the illness makes you isolated because of all the rest you need, all the time alone you need to get energy back, and then you feel even more isolated from people about not understanding, as well as people not having doctors not understand and put you down pretty much for it. So after a long period of time, you can pretty much feel that you're dealing with a fuckload on your own. Yeah, so I guess I'm just agreeing in the fact that many people in this situation do feel isolated, and if you're out there feeling isolated at the moment, being on your own, in bed, in your room, without many friends left, without a lover in fucking like 20 years, then I feel you, and there are literally hundreds of us that have been in that situation. Okay, that is all.